Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are continuing the chapter 16, conclusion of teachings to Sanatana Goswami. So far in this chapter, we are reading about the hunter. How although the hunter was very sinful, but with the association of great devotee like Narada, his mind became softened, and he was even afraid of sons. He was afraid of the sins. So I think yesterday Narada Muni replied that if you want to follow is my direction, then I can tell you the real path of being freed from sinful reactions. So we're continuing. Narada replied, "Yes, I'm sorry. I have come to you to find my own path, just to inquire from you. But I have seen that there are many boars and deer and rabbits on the path, and they are lying on the forest floor, flapping before death, half dead. Who has committed these sinful acts?" The hunter replied, "What you have seen is all right. It is done by me. Done by me." Okay, sorry. I think we already read that. So, after some days had passed, Narada said to his friend Parvatamuni, "I have a disciple. Let us go and see him and see if he is doing well." When the two great sages, Narada and Parvata, came to the place of hunter, the hunter saw his spiritual master coming from the distance. He began to go to him with great respect. But while he was going to receive the great sages, there were ants on the field, and it was a hindrance to his passing. When he reached the sages, he wanted to bow down before them, but he saw there were many ants, and he slowly cleared away the ants with his cloth. When Narada saw that the hunter was trying to save the lives of the ants in such a way, it reminded him of a verse from the Skanda Purana. That verse states, "It is not wonderful for a devotee of the Lord that he is not inclined to give any sort of pain even to the ant." The purport is that formerly the hunter took pleasure by half killing animals, but now that he had become a great devotee of the Lord, he was not prepared to give pain even to an ant. The hunter received the two great sages at his house, and he offered them a sitting place and brought a water and washed their feet and took water to them for drinking. And both the husband and wife touched the water on their heads. After this, they began to feel ecstasy and began to dance, singing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. They raised their hands and danced with their clothing flying. When the two great sages saw the ecstasy of love of Godhead in the body of the hunter, Parvatamuni addressed Narada, "You are a touchstone, and so by your association, even a real hunter has turned into a great devotee." There is a nice verse in Skanda Purana which says, "My dear Devashri, Narada, you are glorious, and by your mercy, even the lowest creature, such as hunter, also became elevated to such a state of devotion and attained transcendental attachment for Krishna." Narada then inquired of the hunter devotee, "Are you getting your foodstuff regularly?" The hunter replied, "You send so many people, and they bring so much eatables that we both can eat so much. We cannot eat so much." So Narada replied, "That's all right. Whatever you are getting, it's all right. Now continue your devotional service in that way." And after saying that, both Narada and Parvatamuni disappeared from the place. This recitation of the story of the hunter is offered by Lord Chaitanya to show that even a hunter can be engaged in devotional service of Krishna by the influence of pure devotees. He then said that another meaning of Atma is all varieties of personality of Godhead. Generally, the personality of Godhead himself, Krishna, and his different expansions are all known as the personality of Godhead. So, anyone who is engaged in the devotional service of any form or extension of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is also called Atmarama. And all such devotees engage themselves either in the regulative principles of devotional service or in devotional service in transcendental love. These two kinds of devotees are divided into three categories: the associates, those in perfection of devotional service, those newly engaged in devotional service, newly engaged devotees can be divided into two. Ones we have who have already attained an attachment for the Lord, and others who have not attained such attachment for the Lord. And according to the two divisions of devotional service, namely the regulative principles and attachment by transcendental love, all these four classes of devotees become eight in number. By the following the regulative principles of devotion, the perfect associates of Lord are divided further into four classes: the servants, the friends, the parental superiors, and the fiancés. Just as devotees are sometimes preferred, perfected by devotional service, so some of them are eternally perfect. In the regulative principle of devotional service, according to the advanced standard and beginner standard, there are 16 kinds of devotees in transcendental loving service of the Lord. Therefore, such Atmaramas can be considered to exist in 32 divisions. If we apply the words Muni, Nirgranda, Cha, and Api in the 32 classes, then it becomes a description of 58 different types of devotees. All these devotees can be sheltered by one word, Atmarama. Just as in the forest, there are many different kinds of trees, but only saying that there are trees there, the meaning is understood. Thus, the Lord completed 60 different meanings of the word Atmarama. And then he again said, Atma means the living entity, beginning from the first living creature, Brahma, down to the ant. He cited the words from Vishnu Purana, 6th chapter, in which it is stated that the energies of the Lord are all spiritual. Of them, the energy which is known as the source of the living entity is also spiritual. But the other energy, which is full of ignorance and is manifested in the material activity, is called material nature. So the living entities are innumerable even in the material creation. And if by chance one of them or some of them can get association of pure devotees, then they can be engaged in the pure devotional service of Krishna. The Lord said formerly, I thought of 60 different meanings of the word Atmarama, but here another meaning came to my mind by your association. Sanatana Goswami, after hearing from Lord about different meanings of the word Atmarama, was struck with the wonder and fell down in the devotion at the feet of Lord Chaitanya. He said, I understand that you are personally the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and with your breathing, there are many manifestations of the Vedic literature. You are the teacher of the Srimad Bhagavatam, so you know best meanings of the verses Srimad Bhagavatam. It is not possible for others to understand the confidential meanings of Srimad Bhagavatam without your mercy. The Lord then replied to Sanatana Goswami, don't try to eulogize me in that way. Just try to understand the real nature, Srimad Bhagavatam. I think I can stop here. So I think we concluded the Hunter and Narada Muni story in today's reading. So the purport is, Hunter took pleasure by half killing the animals, but now after now he became a great devotee of the Lord, and even he was not even prepared to give pain even to an ant. So here, Parvatamuni was addressing Narada, you are like a touchstone. By your association, even a real hunter has turned into a great devotee. And and here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, um, uh, you know, uh, described Atmarama, meaning of the Atmarama into 60 different ways. And after that, Sanatana Goswami, with the folded hands, fell down at the feet of Lord Chaitanya. And Uh, I think that's where we stop. And here we see even Prabhupada, being a pure devotee, came to US, and with his mercy and association, many of the meat eating persons have become a devotees, and even now a lot of devotees you know started following the regulative principles and giving up the sins by not eating the meat or supporting the meat eating stuff. So I think that is the power of association of pure devotees.